XDefiant is a new first-person shooter game that is set to release this year. Developed by Ubisoft, XDefiant takes a unique approach to the first-person shooter genre by combining elements of various games, including Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, The Division, and Ghost Recon Breakpoint. And in this video, we're going to dive into the gameplay mechanics, modes, and features of XDefiant, generally going over how XDefiant works. And we'll be covering everything we know so far about XDefiant as well, just an overall video about everything we know and how the game is going to plan out, and yeah, how XDefiant works. So let's waste no more time and let's get straight into this video. First of all, we're going to look at the gameplay mechanics. XDefiant is a fast-paced team-based shooter game that features a range of unique mechanics. The game is designed to be accessible to both casual and hardcore gamers, with a focus on skill-based gameplay. The core gameplay mechanics of XDefiant includes a class-based system. The game features a class-based system where players can choose from a range of characters, each with their own abilities and playstyles. The classes are divided into 4 categories: tank, support, assassin, and sharpshooter. The tank is obviously where you are going to be the main focus points for the enemy team. You're going to be taking a lot of the damage, and you're also going to be leading the line for your team. Something, for example, this will link a lot to is Overwatch 2. Within Overwatch 2, you have a tank. Typically, your tank is going to take a lot of the damage, but also deal a lot of the damage. So you're going to be the center and the focus points for your team as the tank. So you've got a lot of responsibility lying in your hand. If you don't perform well, then you're not allowing a lot of your room for your team to work with. You need to make sure that you're leading the line well, and you're dealing a lot of damage whilst also taking enough damage, making sure that your team is able to stay alive. Something just like I mentioned that we see in Overwatch 2. Then you have support. The support is obviously going to be, at the back of the team, mainly at the back line, and it's going to be healing your team, and also, just making sure everyone stays alive and everyone is generally working well together. Something, once again, we see within Overwatch 2. It is basically, where you're going to be healing your teammates, and basically your main focus is to keep everyone alive, and you won't be focusing on dealing damage to the enemy team. If anything, that's the least of your worries. You want to make sure that everyone else is able to deal damage to the enemy team by keeping them alive, and of course, you'll have the best healing options as a support player. Then of course we have the assassin. The assassin is going to be someone that is able to deal a lot of damage and mainly going to be getting those eliminations. You may have your tank dealing a lot of damage, and then your assassin goes around finishing all those players off, getting into positions that you might not expect to be in, and then able to surprise the enemy team. Basically, you're going to be just behind the tank, along with also the sharpshooter. The sharpshooter is mainly going to be a sniper within the game. You'll be getting those fine shots. Now this will be pretty similar to the assassin, where you're going to be finishing off those kills and generally just getting a high amount of eliminations with the support players behind you and the tank in front of you. Secondly, there's going to be custom loadouts. Players can customize their loadouts with weapons, gadgets, and attachments. This allows players to tailor their gameplay to their individual preferences. There's going to be over 40 weapons within the game and over 40 attachments within the game. And this is something we see in games like Call of Duty, where you can fully customize your weapon, and this is going to be the same within XDefiant. But once again, this is going to be a free-to-play game, something pretty cool there. Each weapon is going to have loads of customizable options. You'll be able to customize the range of the weapon and the overall strength of the weapon. You might be able to put a suppressor on a weapon, etc, etc. All of those classic attachments that we see within Call of Duty are going to be implemented into an XDefiant way, where you'll be able to use them within the game. And of course, you'll be able to have custom loadouts. For example, you'll have your primary weapon, maybe that'll be, I don't know, an M4, and then of course you're going to have your backup weapon, which may be something like an M9 or something like that. And generally, you'll have your primary and secondary weapon, maybe with a few throwables as well, such as a grenade, or maybe you'll have some sort of Molotov, or of course you could have a C4, anything like that. Generally, that's how custom loadouts do work within games like Call of Duty, and we're going to be seeing it within XDefiant as well. Next up, there is going to be dynamic maps. XDefiant features dynamic maps that change as the game progresses. This does mean that players will have to adapt their strategies as the map does evolve throughout the match. Then there are game modes. XDefiant offers a range of game modes, including team deathmatch, domination, and escort. Escort is basically going to be like escorting the payloads with Overwatch 2, and then of course team deathmatch and domination we see within loads of games. Domination particularly within the Call of Duty franchise, and team deathmatch, I mean, we just see that everywhere these days. And then there's going to actually be a faction-based system. The game features a faction-based system where players can choose to align with one of several factions, each with its own unique identity and playstyle. It's worth looking into these, and obviously when the game does release, taking your time to pick a certain faction and make sure that faction suits suits your playstyle and suits your needs. Next up, of course, we have the modes for the game, and we're going to be going into a bit more detail. We touched on them earlier, but we'll be looking more into them now. So, XDefiant features a range of game modes designed to provide players with a variety of gameplay experiences. Some of the game modes that will be available at launch do include these. Team Deathmatch, which is players are divided into 2 teams and must eliminate the other team to win. Simple as that. Then there is Domination, like we see in Call of Duty. Players must capture and hold 3 different points on the map to earn points. The team with the most points at the end wins the match. Then there is the Escort, just like the payload like I mentioned with Overwatch 2. One team must escort a VIP to a designated location on the map, while the other team tries to stop them. Then there is Zone Control. Zone Control is where players must capture and hold zones on the map to earn points. The team with the most points at the end of the match will win. So, now we're going to look at the features, the main features for XDefiant. XDefiant will offer a range of features that add to the overall gameplay experience. Some of the features do include these. First of all, XDefiant is going to be a cross-play game. Crossplay will be featured within XDefiant, allowing you to play on a different platform to your friends and still be able to play together within the game. Now, at the moment, we don't exactly know what platforms the game will be on, but we can take a guess that it'll be on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Of course, the main debate really is maybe Nintendo Switch, and of course, whether it will be on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One or just the next generation consoles. At the moment, we don't know. Second of all, the game is going to be free to play. XDefiant will be free to play with the option to purchase cosmetics and other in-game items, of course, but in general, the actual game will be free to play and you won't have to pay anything to be able to play it. Next up, there is going to be a lot of character customization. You can customize your character with a range of cosmetics, including skins, emotes, and sprays, like we see in games like Fortnite, for example, which is also free to play. And of course, there's going to be a battle pass. XDefiant will feature a battle pass system, allowing you to earn rewards as you do play. And there's also going to be loads of post-launch content. Ubisoft has stated that they plan to release new content regularly after the game's launch, including new maps, modes, and characters. So there we go, that is everything we know so far about XDefiant and how XDefiant is generally going to work. Basically, it's a mix of sort of Rainbow Six Siege, Tom Clancy's, and The Division, as well as, of course, it's going to be sort of a mix of Call of Duty and Overwatch 2, and a bit of CSGO, all put into one game, and generally, that is how it's all going to work. XDefiant is a new, exciting entry into the first-person shooter genre, offering a range of unique gameplay mechanics, modes, and features, and the game's class-based system, custom loadouts, and dynamic maps makes for a highly engaging gameplay experience. With its free-to-play model and regular post-launch content updates, if Ubisoft live up to that, XDefiant is poised to become a major player in the FPS genre. Maybe this will be a future game within the esports scene as well. We'll just have to wait and see how that all pans out too. But yeah, at the moment it's looking like a really exciting game that's going to be free to play in 2023. So that does just about wrap up things here. Now, I have done a video just like this, but instead I'm specifically focusing on absolutely everything we know about XDefiant so far. And if you're interested in watching that, then the link to that video is on the screen now, and you can go ahead and join me over there.